Been ready to go as they get set to match up with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Here's the former UCLA Bruin, Kymie Fairbairn, to get this one started. And we are underway here on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. A first carry for Christian McCaffrey, who made his first Pro Bowl last year. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. From the gun, here's Newton. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Partner, the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker, has so many different responsibilities. How excited do you think he was to get home with that blitz?
Yeah, he wants a sack. He got it. And he punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's a guy on his 4th franchise in 2 years, Carlos Hyde. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On second down, Hyde. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish, holding that to a minimal gain?
They'll run it. Here's Hyde. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A throw out wide to QT, complete.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
From the 38, Watson. And the catch made by Johnson. It's a gain of 7, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. they become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down. So forget the 3 and out. The penalty makes this 1st and 10.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run.
From the 50, it's Watson. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. That's a corner that got in there for the sack. Dante Jackson. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Here's Watson going deep for Hopkins. It's caught inside the 25. And he finally is out of bounds, but he's down inside the 20-yard line.
Well, we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
First down, a run with Hyde. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Add this game to the last one, and they moved the ball over 50 yards in 2 plays. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Let's bring it.
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
On 2nd and 9. Newton, they'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
And a Panther first down.
All day, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll run with McCaffrey. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Up to make the stop, the Texans' leading tackler a year ago, Zach Cunningham. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
From the 39, Newton. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Hey, let's go. 60 out more. Here we go. Get off the field. Let's go.
A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. The tackle there by George Odom.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. Here's Hyde as they begin on the ground. They'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
From just shy of midfield, Watson, and an alley to run. And he slides to avoid the hit. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Texans 7, Panthers nothing.
Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. Open man is QT, complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The end result, 21 yards. Watson in the offense going to come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. Out of the gun, Watson. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it? It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive. Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either. Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one. It's a Panthers first down, 17 yards on the play. This is something that we expected to see. McCaffrey used out of the backfield. 107 catches in 2018, the most in one season by an NFL running back. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. The lightning rod, J.J. Watt with a sack. No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield. On second down, McCaffrey. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest. To throw on third down, Newton. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing. Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is, at the 6-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they? They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission. And the ball's out. Hyde fumbled it. Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up. And avoids the turnover. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. From the gun, here's Watson. Dumping it off for Johnson. And they'll get him down right around the 11-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and just like that, it's 3rd down. As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield.
How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
The Panthers turn to their nickel set here as they get ready for third down.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Mike 54. Mike 54. You must be dreaming.
A shotgun snap for Watson. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's fourth down. Here's Tyler Newsome now. Christian McCaffrey deep for Carolina. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And it's fielded at the 34. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Panthers will take over in terrific field position. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Throwing is Newton. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
The Panthers on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. Newton. And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. Derek Barnett able to maneuver in for the sack.
I don't know about you, but if I'm the offensive line coach right now, I'm having an absolute fit. This team that they're going against has 3 sacks, yet they rank dead last in the league in sacks coming into this game.
Maybe overlooked them a little bit?
Could be. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if they've just gotten fortunate along the way. I have no real great answer for it, but we're seeing something you don't often see.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is out.
There goes Duke Johnson. And they finally get him down, but not before he gets it up to the 46. A big run there by Johnson. 44 yards on the ground.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Here's a carry for a former starter. This is Lamar Miller. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. Give him maybe a yard. Quite the opposite from the previous big gainer. Here's 2nd and 9. Just a yard on that last run. Here's Watson. Oh, the rookie nearly had the pick. Probably should have had it. 3rd down now.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it.
We all knew. He's checking, he's checking, he's checking. No. Let him go. Watch the 9.
Throwing on third down, Watson. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down.
Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And the Texans scoop it.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, well, he had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play. And maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On 2nd and 9, Watson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it'll bring up third down.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
They need to get this to the 24 on third down. Operating from the gun, Watson. And now a fumble. The ball's out, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about any more.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A run on first down, but it's not going to get them much, maybe a yard, and that's all. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
At the 36-yard line.
Ready? Ready? Come on, D. Ready?
On 2nd and 9, Newton. And he's got the hook up to Moore. Accelerating, and off he goes. Touchdown, Carolina. DJ Moore. His second touchdown on the season as they are now on the board here in the first half. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
The Texans take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes. Back-to-back, what a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Back to throw, Watson. Got an open man, it's QT. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Faking the give, now Watson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing again is Watson. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Motion. 31.
Hey, 1 set. Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
Alert. Here we go. Chest.
Motion. Hey, check.
Alert.
Put your hands on him. Get hands on motion, man.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. Now they face a 3rd and 15 here following the delay of game.
Check.
Watson looks to throw again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Panthers going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. He'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter.
That's it, baby. We're going to work.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
It's a party now. It's a party now.
Watson. Flushed out right. They'll try and run it. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Normally we're talking about a quarterback duel where they're matching each other pass for pass. How about the footwork in this one? Both of these guys running the ball well.
Yeah, they've mixed in the run game. You're exactly right. Now, both coaches might not like how much their quarterbacks have taken off, but another example right there of just good mobility. A 10th carry for Hyde. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
Reset. 19. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
They'll try the air now with Watson. Into the hands of the tight end. This is Jordan Thomas. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 33.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Watson going to pull back the handoff and keep it himself. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Watson, he finds Hopkins complete. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Now a first down throw, Watson. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great. And they're fun. They become a little more ho-hum, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. And I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing, but I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
First and goal at the 9-yard line.
Reset. 19. Alert. 54. Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
They'll run, Hyde, and they'll They'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal.
Here we go, here we go.
They pitch it out to Johnson. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And it's picked up by the Panthers.
All I know, partners, that with every play call that came in, there was a little discussion about, hey, we can seal this bad boy. We can really put ourselves in a great spot to take total control, and yet they find a way to cough it up.
Yeah, the 2-score game opportunity eludes them, and now a chance for the other side to come back here.
Yeah, that means defense has to go out there and make some plays themselves. So we call sudden change. Let's see if the defense is mentally ready to take care of it.
A good convergence there defensively, only a yard, and it's 2nd down. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. J.J. Watt picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Newton. And that's complete to McCaffrey. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th. Newton now to throw. Completes it to Samuel. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a first down. Newton now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Now a shotgun handoff to Scarlett. Josh Jones in on the stop. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. That one covers 29 yards. First down. Newton will bring him up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. Incomplete. This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Now it's the backup Greer. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And so close to hitting pay dirt last time. Fumbling down near the goal line. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Shaq Thompson making his presence felt on the sack.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast, and a big sack. Now, following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Now it's Watson. And he slings one that's incomplete. Jordan Thomas, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw is Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. And he's going to have the hook up to QT. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the 1st at the 32. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
Now a give, right side McCaffrey. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Check 41. Here we go.
Now a 1st down throw for Newton. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 14 yards, good for a Panther 1st down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Newton now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now Newton. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Cam fakes the give and keeps it. Complete out to Samuel on the quick throw. So they say we'll let that completed pass stand, and we'll bring up 3rd down instead as they decline it.
So they're comfortable with the yardage. The big thing to them is what you pointed out, getting it to 3rd down and making a play there.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now Newton. And this is caught. He hits more. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the 1st thanks to a flashy little spin move. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a 1st down. Newton will bring him up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Cam's going to run the option right. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. A shotgun snap for Newton. Eluding the pressure. Touchdown, Carolina. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
Oh, Davis from the top rope. I like it. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
In 2018, Deshaun Watson had 5 fourth-quarter comebacks. Only Drew Brees of the Saints had more with 6.
Back. You got 31.
Off of play action, it's Watson. Forced out to his left. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Max Sharping, the guilty party, 2nd-round pick from Northern Illinois. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
It's going to be a long day, offense. It's going to be a long day.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And nearly picked off there, and it would have been a great time for their first pick. Instead, it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that, 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on run downs. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 16.
Hold the look. Hold.
To the air yet again, Watson. And an alley to run. And avoids the contact by sliding. Able to pick up a dozen yards there on the scramble, but not enough. 4th down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Motion, go. Hey, 1 set. Check.
They will indeed snap it to Watson. And an alley to run. run. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
How many times have we seen this late in the fourth quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll give to Hyde out of the gun. And very little there. He might have.
Thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Hey, we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving. Under 10. Under 4.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
The ball gets bumped up. It's now 2nd and 4 after the penalty. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Gerald McCoy able to record his 5th sack of the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
It's complete to Hopkins. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense there. They read through that.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
We've seen some big kicks in the NFL the last few years, and that one might just rank right up there.
And you know you can hear the crowd react, right? But I was focused in on the sideline and watched them absolutely erupt. I don't know how many of them thought that he was actually going to make that kick, but how about how they felt when the ball went over the post?
At their own 22-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now on 2nd and 16. Newton finding room at the 30. They'll get this to McCaffrey out of the backfield. And he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Newton now to throw. He'll buy some time right. He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 13 yards, 1st down Panthers. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Back to throw, Newton. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking to get that one to DJ Moore, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. To throw again. Newton. That's to McCaffrey, complete. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now it's Newton. And he's got his tight end. That's Smith. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. And that's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for second down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now on second and 16, Newton. He gets it to Thomas. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. The reception good for 7. It's third down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Here's Newton. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the fourth, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they manage the clock exactly right.
The Texans take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. An incomplete pass leads to second and 10 from the 25. Back to throw. It's complete to Fuller. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a first and 10. Watson now to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Dontari Poe in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Watson. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well have run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. That'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. On 4th down, Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Set. 19. 54 miles. I got one. Set. Alert.
Now Watson. And a catch made by Hopkins. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Set. 19. 24. 54. Stay with your man.
Now it's Watson. And an alley to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down. And they will get the timeout. So 3 seconds remaining. And they can trot out the field goal unit and try to send this one to overtime. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. With 3 seconds to go, if it's good, we're off to overtime. And his kick is good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick 6 or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Come on now. Let's go.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. First throw in overtime for Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards, first down, Panthers.
A gain of 13 yards.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease. That play.
Here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Cam fakes the give and keeps it. They go quickly here out to Moore. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
A gain of 7 yards. And it's 3rd down.
3rd and 1, trying to keep this drive in overtime going. A big one coming up. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Decision time now on 4th and about 1.5 yards.
I can still hear my high school.
And look at this. It's a fake. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. That goes for 15 yards on the fake, a first down. And a lot of fist pumps right now on that sideline. 38. Now a play fake, and it's Newton. He's going to look deep for more. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So much for field goal range. They were going for the jugular right there, just trying to end it.
That was definitely a shot play, as they like to call it, a chunk play, whatever term you want to put on it. They were attacking deep downfield, trying to get to the end zone. Really well defended, going up and knocking it away.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Newton. Open man is Samuel. Complete. 11 yards and a Panther first down. Shaping up to be a very efficient opening drive here in overtime.
And can you feel the tension building? Because I'm feeling it. All right, I've got the sweaty palms here with each play because of the enormity of what's going on. Each play means so much in overtime, and they're handling it well as this drive continues.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. On 2nd down and 4, Newton. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection. And
they're going with some extra beef up front. They've got to have this one in overtime. It's 3rd and 1. Gives it to the first man through, the fullback Arma. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Just enough to get the first down there with a 1-yard pickup. Cam's going to run the option right. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. To throw is Newton. His throw incomplete. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Newton. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
They're able to put 3 on the board here on the opening drive of OT, and now up to their defense to try and see if they can hold this one.
I like how you framed it up because obviously this game is not over, right? They go down and kick a field goal, then we head to sudden death. But if the defense can hold, take the ball away, turn it over on downs, this game's over.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. The field goal would push it to sudden death. We just saw the field goal on the other end, but I don't think they are thinking field goal. At least not to start this drive. They're not thinking field goal.
Not at all, because your point is well taken. Yeah, kick the field goal, you push it to sudden death, but you're also kicking off and giving the other team the ball with a chance to kick a field goal and beat you. Get the touchdown, finish the game off. That has to be the mindset.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Hey, watch the slant.
Throwing again is Watson. He finds Hopkins complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
That's good for a Texans.
Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmys and the Joes.
That's another Texans first down. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold them to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. On 2nd down, it's Johnson. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just one remaining as we step aside here in overtime. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
54.
A shotgun snap for Watson. Complete. It's Johnson. And they'll bring him down right at midfield, and he is well short of the first down. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. They will indeed snap it to Watson. And this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this defense will take over right at midfield. We thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play defense. And usually we focus on the big offensive pyrotechnics, right? But in this case, they got the ball back on defense, gave themselves a chance, and they capitalized on it with a victory.
And I don't care what distance out field goals from in overtime. The knees are always knocking, but he pushed it through.
Not only that, think about your snapper, your holder. A lot of nerves for them, too, because they have to do their job in order to give him one last chance to put a foot to it.
So for Carolina, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they too will leave here at 1-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.